Common Knowledge Podcast, just a man doing the best he can with what he got. Alright guys, so for those of y'all who did not major in journalism or broadcasting, who may not know this, there's a term called so what? And basically what that means is you ask yourself, why is this newsworthy? What am I getting out of this? Why does somebody need to know this information? And in turn, when you're reading the story, you ask yourself, why is this story coming out? Who wants me to know this story? What's the purpose? Especially in today's climate, because most of your news is activism, it's not true news. Everybody has an angle. So those are the things that you have to ask yourself when you're looking at news these days. Now, the reason why I bring that up is because my social media feed was set ablaze with information that classified documents from Biden's time as vice president was discovered. So here's the thing. Whenever I hear news like this that could be like skewed, I go to multiple news sources to check it. Now, my trusted news source is NBC News. A lot of people will say that is liberal leaning. I tend to disagree. That probably holds up with MSNBC, but you can't really say that with NBC News. I disagree. However, what I like to do is I like to get stories from Fox News and NBC News and then cross-check that with the AP news story because everybody gets their news stories from the AP. That's a dirty secret, guys. Go to the AP wire, check out stories. Everybody is getting their stories from there. That is the most unbiased view you're going to get, AP News Wire. So I check NBC, I check Fox News, and then I check the AP wire to get kind of like the real story in between there. And from there, I extrapolate my information before I come do these podcasts. Because look, man, I try to be well diverse on every angle. I tackle this like it's like journalism. It's not journalism, but I tackle it like journalism. That being the case, man, I'm going to read you the story from Fox News, right? Because when this story came out that they found classified documents from Biden's time as vice president, all my right-wing friends were like, yeah, finally, we got him. We got him, guys. We got him. All that stuff they was talking about President Trump with his classified documents, now we're going to throw that at Biden because it's obviously the same. And it's not the same, bro. Once again, let me just read the Fox News story. A batch of records from President Biden's time as vice president, including a small number of documents with classified markings, were discovered at the Penn Biden Center by the president's personal attorneys on November 2nd. The attorneys found the documents in a locked closet while preparing to vacate office space at the center, which the president used from mid-2017 until the beginning of 2020's campaign. The National Archives were notified of the findings and took possession of the documents November 3rd, 2022, Stuber said. All right, so right off top, let's start right there. The Biden administration's, well, not even the Biden administration, Biden's personal lawyers found the documents November the 2nd and was given to the National Archives November the 3rd. Already totally different from the President Trump thing, but let's continue with the story. The documents were not the subject of any previous request or inquiry by the archives. Since that discovery, the president's personal attorneys have cooperated with the archives and the Department of Justice in process to ensure that any Biden administration records were appropriately in the possessions of the archives. This is Fox News. I'm getting this from Fox News, guys. So says a Fox News. The documents were not subject of any previous requests or inquiry by the archives. So an honest question here is, why didn't the archives pick up on this? Why didn't they see this? Well, this Fox News story says it was only a small number of documents. That is different from President Trump, who had like boxes and boxes on top of boxes of documents. Already a different story off top. And I'm more inclined to think that something nefarious wasn't happening here because it was a small number and they turned themselves in. The Biden administration said, yo, bro, I didn't know I had these. Here you go. Not the case with former President Trump. Context matters, guys. If you're going to play this whataboutism, get the full story out. Get the full story. So already it ain't the same damn thing. It's Donald Trump. So it's always been a thing with me when the classified document dumps and the thing that Donald Trump is being like prosecuted from or being looked into from the U.S. Attorney's Office and Department of Justice. It's always been a funny thing, right? Because I can honestly understand like somebody moving out the White House or you trying to get documents gathered up and get your things gathered up and you're rushing out and you pick up the wrong document. I can actually honestly see that happening. There's a scenario where you can actually do that. But why this is different from the Biden administration is, first, the Biden administration found these documents. And look, that could be a lie. Let's say that could be a lie. Maybe they knew they had these documents, but the National Archives didn't know those documents was missing, right? Because there's so few documents and they had like a majority of everything. The Biden administration contacted the National Archives and told them they had these documents. So that's already different from Trump. Now, when the National Archives contacted former President Trump about his documents, they lied and said they didn't have them. And the National Archives like, nah, bro, you bullshitting. I know you got them because I see them missing here because you took so damn many, right? So then the Trump administration was like, oh, my bad, mighty guy. Here you go. You can have all these documents back. Then the National Archives like, are you sure these are all the documents? And the Trump administration said, yeah, you straight, man. You straight. All Trump lawyers like, yeah, man, I'll sign off on this, man. It's all the documents. The National Archives like, bro, you still bullshitting, dog. These are not all the classified documents. I'm looking at the list. This ain't all of them. So then they negotiate for 3 months. The Trump administration and National Archives. And then the Trump administration like, okay, here goes some more boxes, bruh. Then the National Archives like, bruh, I still don't think these are all the documents are missing because you took so damn many of them. Are you sure? Trump lawyers again sign off on it. Like, yeah, man, these are all the documents. Are you sure? Yes. National Archives runs a record check. Like, bro, these ain't all of them. You got to have more documents. National Archives get fed up. They call the FBI to issue a search warrant because the Trump administration and its lawyers lied so many damn times about the documents. None of that happened with the Biden administration, so this is not equivalent. Now, to all my Republican friends who are like, yeah, dog, this all could be connected to Hunter Biden's laptop or whatever. My question is, what do you want to happen? So by bringing this up, is your argument that nobody should get prosecuted? It's a wash. So the hell with President Biden and the hell with President Trump because everybody takes classified documents? Or is your position that everybody needs to be prosecuted? Because I'll pose this to you. If it turns out that the Biden administration has more classified documents after the National Archives go check their records, and they feel like more documents that are pertinent to national security are missing, then yes, issue a search warrant for the Penn Biden building and go try to find those documents. I'm actually for that, but that's not what the National Archives is saying. But yes, if they come back and say, yo, we're missing some documents, some very important documents that we didn't know about previously, yeah, go ahead, issue the search warrant for the Biden administration. Do it. But that's not what you guys are saying, and that's not what you guys want. What you want is to deflect responsibility from what the Trump administration did and downplay it and make it seem like it's not a big deal. And it is a big deal. Like in the former President Trump case, there was nuclear documents, dog, like nuclear weapon documents. I don't know what these documents are at the time for the Biden administration, but whatever those documents are, I don't think they was nuclear code related. And if they are, then yo, I'm sorry, but that's already not the same. We try to play this whataboutism in politics so damn much, and I gotta ask you, like, what do you really want to happen? Are you deflecting, or do you want to see accountability? Because if you're saying, yo, we need to hold Biden accountable, my question is, accountable for what? Because he did the right thing. He found out he had documents. Well, he didn't know. His administration or his people found out that they had documents, and they called the National Archives. There you go. The Trump administration had multiple opportunities to turn in all their documents. They still got opportunities. They still haven't turned in all the documents yet. After being confronted about this, dude. And like I said, context matters. So the fact that they still not turning all the documents leads me to believe that they're doing something nefarious with these documents. I could be totally wrong. This could just be a misstep. This could be a guy who just didn't know how many documents they took and they had them in multiple spots. But at the very least, you know what it does? It shows incompetence. Gross incompetence. The former president, Trump that is, looks like a bumbling fool who hired clowns. You can say that about his attorneys. His attorneys signed off and said that was all the documents, and it turned out it wasn't all the documents. That shows people are not good at their jobs. And that's a reflection on the guy who hired them. So this guy can't even hire competent attorneys and people around him to make sure that he has all the documents turned in. So if it wasn't anything nefarious, former President Trump was planning, it shows, man, incompetence. And I still can't get down with that. In the case of Biden, look, man, you can say it shows incompetence because they took him, but at least they tried to do the right thing to turn him in. And once again, if it turns out that more documents are missing and the National Archives does a scrub and they'll be like, you know what? The Obama-Biden administration got multiple documents missing too. Cool, issue a search warrant. But until then, y'all chill out with the whataboutism. Chill, please. I'm not saying that President Biden is unfallible and should not be held accountable for any mistakes. I'm not saying that, dog. But this right here, man, it is not like the same as President Trump. It just isn't, guys.